What's up, guys? So in this video, which is episode number 2 of installing a roll cage in my car, I'm going to go over everything involved with preparing the inside of the car to weld the roll cage. Now, as you saw in the last video, you watched me tear the car completely apart and we got it to this point. Now, what a lot of professional race teams would do is actually strip the car apart even further than I have it. And they would send the actual body of the car out for an alkaline dip. Now, an alkaline dip is actually a really cool process, which not only removes all the paint from the car, but removes all the undercoating, seam sealer, if there's any rust, any body filler, strips the car completely down to bare metal. Now, as much as I would love to get my car dipped, honestly, I just can't deal with repainting the entire car again and all the extra work and time that's involved with all that. So I won't be getting the car dipped. Now, I still need to remove this trim as I'm going to be welding up here along the A-pillar and up along the roof. I don't want the trim to get damaged, but more importantly, I just don't want it to catch fire. So this still needs to come out. And I need to get somebody to come here and remove the windshield for me, because I know if I even attempt that myself, I'm more than likely either going to crack it or damage the windshield. So that I'll leave to the professionals. So first thing I need to do inside the car is remove all of the bracing. So a lot of the bracing is either bolted in or some of it's even spot welded into the car. So I had to drill out all the spot welds, grind everything nice and smooth. And then wherever I'm going to be welding metal in the car that's painted or has seam sealer on it, all that stuff needs to be removed, sanded down to good, clean, bare metal so you have a nice, good, clean surface to weld to. And then once the cage is completely done, I'm going to be painting the cage and the entire interior of the car. There's a few spots that have some tape and some glue residue from the factory carpet and installation. So all that stuff needs to be completely removed from the car, cleaned up so you have nice, good, clean surfaces. Again, not only for welding, but also for painting. So let's get started. Anything that's bolted in back here, I'm going to quickly remove from the car. And this is, again, just extra weight. So let's pull this out. Alright, so we got everything that actually unbolts from the inside of the car. Some of the bracing back here along the back, and then all these braces that are along the roof. So now I'm going to move on to removing anything that's spot welded into the car. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see these little dimples here. You know, all these little dimples are basically where everything has been spot welded in from the factory during the manufacturing process. So I'm going to remove all of these, and I actually got this pretty cool little tool here. And this is actually a spot weld cutting tool. So it's almost like a miniature hole saw. And basically how this works is you have your bit here with a spring-loaded drill bit, and then this little end here goes on the end. And like I said, this is almost like a miniature hole saw. And yeah, it actually works pretty good. It's a lot better of a process than just using a regular drill bit and just drilling holes everywhere. This way you kind of go above the spot weld, and then you're left with a little dimple piece behind. So let's get started. And safety first. Alright, so we got these first 2 panels out, and here's what I was telling you about with this spot weld tool. You're left with the actual spot weld still there. So, you know, you basically, if you can see that, you know, it basically cuts a hole around and leaves the spot weld behind. So then at this point, you would use a grinder and grind those all smooth, opposed to using like an actual drill bit to remove the spot welds, and you'd be left with holes all over the place. So yeah, let's get the rest of them done. I'm going to quickly jump to all of them. I'm not going to sit there and film all of them because that's going to be pretty boring for you guys. So keep watching. Right, so I've got all the ones back here all finished up. And now I'm going to quickly jump onto the front ones here, which shouldn't be as bad. Those back ones are a little tricky because they're going around bends and all that. So let's move on to the front. All right, so got everything removed that was spot welded into the car. I'm going to quickly vacuum up all of this scrap metal everywhere, and then I'm going to basically grind down all of these little tabs that are left over from the spot weld removal tool. So these are the actual original spot welds that have to get grinded down now. Alright, so that is everything that was all spot welded into the car or bolted in, all removed. I would say that's got to be an easy 50, if not even 60 pounds of weight sitting right there. Plus with all the bolts and everything that are removed too. So that's a good amount of weight savings for once the roll cage goes in. And I've already gone ahead now, and everywhere where there were spot welds, everything's all been grinded nice and smooth. That's all cleaned up, and now I just need to get to the, like I was talking about, the tape and the seam sealer. So here's some of the tape I was talking about. This is all stuff that goes on in the factory. You've got seam sealer underneath. This is hiding like a joint where these two panels are seamed together. So that's all got to get cleaned up. And I'm only going to grind a couple spots down quickly where I know that the cage is going to be installed. I know the main hoop installs back in this area, so I'm going to just clean this area up, get rid of all the paint and all the seam sealer and everything, and then move on to a couple other points on the car. Alright, so got the entire car all vacuumed, all cleaned up. You can see a little bit better now of everything that's going on. So I started by removing all the panels that were spot welded in the car. All these spot welds have been grinded down smooth. And then on the four corners of the car where I know the main points of the roll cage are going to be welding in, all the paints, everything's been stripped down to bare metal, everything's all ready to weld. There's a few other points inside the car, you know, along the A-pillar, along the roof here, and some other points in the back that still need to be prepped. I have some work I still need to do in the back end of the car. I'm going to be reinforcing the rear strut towers, and I might even tub the back end of the car. I haven't decided yet. Let me know what you guys think. Other than that, you know, that's probably it for today. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the entire build. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.